Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Kunth talk show. Today is June 12th, 2019, 3 o'clock p.m. California time. And today we're gonna talk about basically random topics. I haven't decided the topics, but mostly something like random, technical stuff, Emacs, JavaScript, and related technical. And today, so I have here in the comment box, you can see, so there are some topics listed there, or so go over there and pick a topic, go to that link, Kunth Talk Show page, and pick a topic. And or possibly we are going to do a live Emacs Lisp coding where the command log mod, the Emacs command log mod, you can see the keystrokes on the left side of this window are Vorak keyboard, Vorak key layout keystrokes. So because I'm using a Vorak keyboard, but people, when I do demo, people don't know, those are not, most people are using QWERTY. So I'm thinking of modifying this package. Let's see, command log mod. Okay, that's the it says command log mod. So this is the package, which is 400 lines. So I'm thinking of modifying this package, as a live demo, so that it shows the QWERTY keyboard layout if desired, meaning that it's going to do a conversion in real time. So what do you like? So guys, so what do you like to see the topics? Type in the comments, and let's get started. Actually, so I mean that's correct. Let's get started. But meanwhile, so we got 2 people watching. Say hi, okay? So right now, actually, what I'm doing is that I'm working on my website. So this is how to run a JavaScript. There are some parts I need to edit. This is what I do every day. So browser JavaScript console. For example, in this screenshot, I need a new screenshot. This screenshot is old. This screenshot is from, let's see, 2016. Okay, and it's done on Linux. So I want a new screenshot. And we can do that. But that is not the main topic, because I don't suppose it's very interesting. So guys, okay, we got 3 person watching. Go to the link and pick a topic you like to see. Then let's get started. I'm not going to do this page now. Let's go. Okay, first, so let's just go roundabout. Go to my website and I'll go over my blogs and talk about something interesting. So keyboard blog, let's see, the keyboard department. Keyboard blog, we talked about those yesterday. Okay, this we haven't talked, the other day. So this one we haven't talked about before. This is fascinating. So this is a kanji keyboard, basically a Japanese keyboard to type Chinese characters. Hold on a second, let me close the door so my because my roommate is watching TV. So I'm back. I am back. So this kanji keyboard. Kanji keyboard. This is a Japanese keyboard to type Chinese characters. So it's huge. It's got 480 keys. What year is this? This is 1989. You know, this way of typing Chinese characters is extremely inefficient. You know, that's why, you know, this is the early days. People have not created much of a input methods. Now, input method is a basically it's a software method that allows you to type characters, you know, more than, you know, 30 alphabets, you know, for example, for Chinese or Japanese. So those are input methods. You know, if you need to type Chinese or Japanese or Korean, you need to do that. But before input method are invented, this is 1989. So people, you know, the Japanese, they are also trying to, you know, invent, you know, thinking about how to type Chinese or Japanese characters. So in the early days, there are things like these, where you know, each key has several choices, you know, 9 possible characters you can type, and there are 500 something keys. It's extremely inefficient, you know. You so anyway, that's interesting. So that's keyboard stuff. Let's talk about desk keyboard. The desk keyboard is one of the worst keyboard. Okay, I don't recommend desk keyboard. Desk keyboard is very popular among programmers. Why? For one reason, and one reason, mostly for one reason, because marketing. You know, if you want to get the same quality of keyboard, there are a lot better ones, you know, and cheaper in a gaming community. And if you do not like the gamers, you know, fancy, you know, coloring and style, you know, teenage style, there are a lot, you know, plain choices too. For example, let's go to PC keyboard. For example, you can pick this CM Master keys, PBT keyboard. This is high quality keyboard, and it's better than the desk keyboard. You know, I don't like desk keyboard. I despise desk keyboard because why? Because when you good morning, FMS. It's like when you let's see. You know, I despise desk keyboard because they are, you know, the quality divided by price ratio is no good. It's too high. Okay, and they thrive. They are popular among programmers because they market to programmers. For example, let me show you this headphone. Okay, Beat headphone. It's extremely popular. You know, you see all the young people, you know, buy these Beat headphones. The Beat headphone, as far as technology, you know, build quality, everything is considered divided by price. You know, divided by price is important because something could cost, you know, $1 versus something cost $100. You know, that's a big difference. So anyway, you take the quality divided by price. The Beat headphone is one of the worst possible. They are almost like a scam. However, in the past like 5 or 10 years, they become hugely popular. You know, Beat brand is unheard of before. They become hugely popular. Why? Because marketing. You know, they have people. You know, marketing is a $1 billion business industry. You know, they have people. They try to make celebrities. You know, singers and stars to wear them. In some cases, pay them. You know, say, hey, Michael Jackson, we pay you, you know, $10,000. You put on this headphone, you know, to do when you are talking to, you know, when you are doing YouTube or something. So that's why they are hugely popular. But the quality is shit. You know, it's shit. So in a similar way, the dash keyboard is just no good. Okay, dash keyboard is no good. I mean, they are reasonable quality, but they are the price. But basically, you can get much better deal if you go to into the gamers community and buy many choices. Some of them are like $30, like this optical switch, $40. Very good optical switch. Or you can buy the brand name, you know, CM Cooler Master. Cooler Master, those are also excellent. And many other choices, by the way. So anyway, so that's the dash keyboard. And in the past few years, they started to go into the gamers community. You know, because before, you know, they arose as a keyboard, a quality keyboard for programmers, but now they get into gaming. The reason is easy to understand, because in the gamer community, you have like 100 times more people. The market is 100 times larger than the programmers community. By the way, so dash keyboard is popular among programmers, but why? But how come, you know, the programmers doesn't know about other things? Because, you know, typically you tend to stay in your community. You know, you don't have time. You never, you know, you are a programmer. You don't necessarily know about gaming, although some programmers are gamers. But in general, gaming community and programmer community, they are separate. Just like, you know, programmers and mathematician community, they are separate. You know, mathematicians, they do their things, you know, but what you read every day, the people you talk to, the things you hear are like different. That's why different communities, like different cultures, opinions and stuff, your perception are all different. So FM says, what are your thoughts on low-profile keyboards? I feel like they are more ergonomic and less fatiguing when typing after having RSI. Low-profile keyboard. Are you talking about non-mechanical? So in general, okay, I don't think low-profile keyboards are a good thing at all. I think if you are typing, if you need to type a lot, such as a programmer, you don't want low-profile keyboard. I'm talking about low-profile, such as you know, portable keyboards or Apple's keyboard. Let's look at Apple's keyboard. Apple's keyboard are the worst with respect to ergonomics. Apple keyboards today, like this year, you know, in the past 2 years, 3 years, Apple's keyboard are the worst. Not just ergonomics, but also worse in quality. Worse, you know, they get damaged. You cannot repair it. You have to buy a whole thing. Like every 3 months, you know, if you are in the Apple community, you know it's well known, Apple keyboards. So Apple keyboards today is very bad, but in general, Apple keyboards are the worst in terms of ergonomics. If you are a programmer, you know, don't use Apple keyboards. You're gonna get RSI. You know, it's not happening right now, but who knows? You know, that's the thing. You know, most people, all those people who got RSI, you know, the years before, they do not think, oh, that won't happen to me, until it happens to you. So don't buy Apple keyboards. And also about these low profile keyboards, they are no good. Okay, never type on a laptop keyboard for longer than, you know, 5 minutes. It's laptop keyboard that got me RSI. My first RSI in 2006. So my opinion about low profile keyboards, no good, except when they are mechanical. Now today you have several mechanical kind of low profile like this. Let me show you. I have one actually. I wonder if I can show you. Yeah, let me show you then. Hold on a second. So this is Habit keyboard. They send me one for my review, and this is low profile mechanical keyboard. So the travel is like half of the typical Cherry MX keyboard. So this I recommend. I recommend very much. As far as how does this compare to a normal mechanical keys, I don't have much opinion about that. So let me show you the keyboard. Now my camera is extremely bad, so it's you won't see much out of it. But anyway, so this is this is my desktop. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I'm gonna change some settings here so you can see a big video. Give me a minute. Okay, now you can hear me, and let me add the video. Video capture device. Okay, video coming up. USB camera 960. Okay, so there's a video, but let me change it so it's even bigger. Okay, so anyway, so that's my keyboard, and this is the Havoc keyboard. So I actually never use this for like more than an hour, so I can. But anyway, this is not ergonomic. I must have ergonomic ones, so I haven't used it much. That is why. If it is ergonomic, I'll definitely gonna use it for weeks and see how they compare. But anyway, so if you want thin profile, go for this. This is good, mechanical thin profile keys, but never things like Apple's keyboard or laptop keyboards. So that's my opinion about keyboard, about the low profile key. So anything else? So yeah, okay, so that's about keyboard. Let's go to another topic then. So keyboard programming, there's this interesting things about Unicode. So in Unicode you have these boxes, these characters that is designed to draw borders and boxes. For example, these are all Unicode characters. You can see the character name, box drawing, light, vertical, and left. That's this character. And this one is box drawing, heavy, down, and left. Now you can create these boxes. You can create a maze. And there are also these characters that you can create these images. So that's a fun thing to... So those are called Unicode drawing. They are typically called box drawing characters. Box drawing characters, and then you have these block characters: dark shade, medium shade, light shade. Okay, that's about that. Unix. Web dev. Okay, I feel kind of lost talking about these random things. It's because it doesn't seem to be focused, and I somehow it's like no interest. So I got this fan like 10 years ago from Chinatown, I guess. So this is classic Chinese fan. It's so hot today in California. I'm in San Francisco, Mountain View area. In this week, past 3 days, it's extremely hot. But however, it's no hotter than Taiwan or South Asia, those countries. So let's go through the topics then. Let's see what else. Donald Knuth, Steve Jobs, and idiocy of typography. Now this is one of my big rant. The gist. Let's see how long I've been talking. The gist of this thing is, in typography community, similar things happens in photography community, calligraphy community, grammarians community. Okay, you got these people, these idiots. They choke up their stuff as they kind of like a high art. Like in typography community. There is this documentary. Okay, this is made in 2007. It's kind of a movie, so it lasts for an hour. So they talk about typography and the Helvetica font. Let's go to my website, Saudi website, so you can actually see the YouTube videos. You don't see that on my browser here because I don't have JavaScript on, and also it's my local file. So you go to xali.info, then you go to web dev. Cold and rainy in UK. Oh, that's interesting. But isn't UK summer right now? UK. Which part of UK are you at? So anyway, so go to the Donald Knuth, Steve Jobs, and idiocy of typography. So why Donald Knuth and why Steve Jobs? Because both of them fell into typography. Both of them are. They are high achievers. They have done great things. But both of them are inspired by typography. So that's a good aspect of typography. Donald Knuth spent something like 10 years to create TeX, the typesetting language. Xali.tech. Let me show you this article. You might have already seen. This article is very popular. The TeX pestilence. Why TeX sucks. Okay, this is one of my articles. In fact, I did a talk show on this thing. So Donald Knuth, the famous computer scientist, created this technology to typeset mathematics, not just for math, but for typesetting, typography. Why he did that? Because when he was writing his book, The Art of Programming, there's no digital typography. This is in the 1970s, 1980s. You don't have, it's not like today you have font, true type font or whatever. You can print, laser printers and whatnot. They don't have that back then. So Donald Knuth, he wants to write The Art of Programming, and in that book there's a lot of math formulas. Back in the 1970s and 80s, math are always, they are, usually typeset using the monospace Courier, very ugly. So Knuth, tried to solve the problem. So he basically spent 10 years and he created TeX and the Meta font, and basically nobody uses. And to me, TeX is one of the worst technology. It's not just, it's a pestilence. If you are interested, read this article and read my talk show over there. We are not going to talk about that today. But So Kunth, he spent 10 years yak shaving to create the tech instead of working on his, the art of computer, the art of programming, because, the art, I don't, it's supposed to be 7 volumes, but right now only 3 or 4 volume came up. I don't think he can do it. He's like 80 years old now. But anyway, that's called yak shaving. By the way, so let's see, Sali yak shaving. There's an article on from 1980s about yak shaving. Best tool for yak shaving, Emacs. Okay, this article is from year 2000. Okay, so I don't think this is the earliest article on yak shaving, but you can read that. It's fun. Emacs is the best tool for yak shaving. So anyway, so that's Kunth. How he relates to typography. So he's actually a pioneer of modern digital typography. Now Steve Jobs is also fell into typography because if you search Steve Jobs and typography on YouTube, you'll find some stories. I'm not going to repeat them. Basically, he's inspired by typography. So so very much on the Mac, you have the Mac in the 1990s is the most beautiful graphics. But anyway, back to the topic. The thing about typography and community is that they think, when you listen to, for example, when you watch this article, okay, this YouTube, when you talk to this or you go online, read some typography community, you listen to them, they are a bunch of idiots. Okay, they are like, how do you compare? It's like, how in photography community, photographers, some of them think photography is the greatest art. They show some pictures of the historical photos, maybe in World War or maybe in protest riots, historical moments, great photos. And they chalk up to, this is how great, how important it is. That's all bullshit. Okay, photography, there's no art about this, like little to none, no art about it. All you have is the technology, is a camera. You just take photos. You just take a lot of photos, and in fact, that's what we have. That's what we are doing today. Everyone's got a cell phone. It's got a camera. You just take photos. There's it's not like photography is nowhere compared to painting. Painting, you actually have to take 10 years to learn. Not so with when you actually compare the art, there's really no art in photography. It's like all bullshit. Okay, so that's photography. And in the same thing, you can see kind of the same thing with the grammarians. Like sometimes you talk to grammarian, like some pedants, grammar sensitive, or sometimes called grammar Nazis. They say, split infinitive. The many of the technical grammar jargons. They say, how important. Style guides. They are like tens of style guides, like the AP Press style guides, the whatever standard, the Boston, style guide. Like they have lots of books, guides on how punctuation should be used. Let's show you another article. The moronicities of typography. Okay, let's show you that article. This typography idiots, all these people are idiots. Like hyphen and dash. Okay, typographers are concerned about hyphen and dash because they are actually different. Some of them are longer, a bit longer and thinner, and positioned a little bit higher then there are like 5 types of hyphen or dashes. So look at these morons. This is from Wikipedia actually. This passage is from Wikipedia around year 2010 or something like that. So it says, traditionally an em dash like so, or spaced em dash like so, has been used for a dash in running text. The elements of typographic style recommends the more concise spaced en dash like so, and argues that the length and visual magnitude of an em dash belongs to the padded and corseted aesthetic of Victorian typography. They are making fun of each other, each different schools of the typography guides. Okay, then it says the spaced en dash is also the house style for certain major publishers, Penguin, Cambridge University Press, and Routledge among them. However, some long-standing typographical guides, such as the Chicago Manual of Style, still recommend unspaced em dashes for this purpose. The Oxford Guide to Style, year 2002, section 5.10 acknowledges that. So this is a glimpse of how these typography communities, the type of things and attitude and tone they are talking about. So it's like each one of them is like they've got a hate and soul. In practice it doesn't matter shit. You can just use the ugly ASCII dash. Let me show you. Ugly ASCII dash like so, and that'll be it. Okay, this is the ASCII dash. Okay, let me show you the em dash. This is em dash. Em dash. Let me show that. So em, I have a em dash. So the key is em dash. Okay, so this is em dash. This is ASCII dash. You cannot actually see the difference unless I change the Emacs font to be something not monospace. So let's do that. Pitch. So now you can see. You see, this is ASCII dash. This is em dash. And let me show you the en dash. Okay, that's en dash. And let me show you figure dash. These typographical idiots have all these things. Figure dash. Actually, I don't think I have the shortcut for it. I do. Okay. This is the figure dash, and this is the hyphen minus. Now this ASCII character is called hyphen minus when you just press the minus key on your keyboard. Okay. Actually, let me show you the Unicode so that you can actually see clearly what they are. So you can see. Let me. So you can see that. So you got em dash, you got en dash, you got figure dash, you got hyphen minus dash. Now, if you really care about these things, if you are one of the pedantic typographer kind of people, then each of them have proper uses. For example, I'm not going to explain, but good morning, Sean. Thank you for the donation. I'm gonna read the comments in a bit. So em dash, so these are things typographers are concerned about. Not just that, then they are concerned about ligatures, like the fucking stupid ligatures. And by the way, typography is also one of the things that these elite type of hacker idiots chant about it all the time, especially the Unix, the Unix philosophy fucks. These type of people chant about this all the time. Like they'll talk about on Hacker News about, they are just idiotic. Okay, so let's go back to the topic of, the topic of the, okay, we are on topic. We are talking about how the typography community is idiotic. The bottom line is that they are a craft, okay? The typography as a craft, or grammar, writing as a craft, or calligraphy or photography as a craft. They are, they are not like very difficult. I mean, really something critical art. Okay, they are not what these people community claim them to be. These people, when you watch this documentary, the way they talk, you can see that they think they are the kings. Like the typography, like they take camera, of all the street, signs, advertisements, they show Helvetica type, they show how it is everywhere. They talk about how it affects your mood. They talk about how, because Helvetica, because then it affects humanity's mood. Like fucking bullshit. These idiots, people. Okay. And a lot of programmers follow this kind of flow, thought flow. Like I have my followers who would do that. But really, it's like it's blown out of proportion. It's really, typography is not really that critical, not important at all. I mean, yeah. So okay, so that basically is the topic about this typography. That kind of covers this. So let me read the comments. So Midlands in the UK. Midlands, where is Midland? And yes, it's summer, but the weather has been bad this week. Okay. As long, Sean says, as long as whatever typographic scheme you are using is consistent, it shouldn't matter which you use. You are welcome. Yeah, thanks. So thank you for the donation. Great episode. Thank you. So I think typography is critical insofar as communication is critical. Good typography should communicate well. No, I don't think so. I disagree. Well, I mean, that's the thing. That is the thing, you see. So if you claim typography is critical insofar as communication is critical, well, communication is absolutely critical, because that's, we have to communicate to do anything, including to keep us being alive. We have to communicate, but not typography. Without typography, you can or you need, you don't need, you can use monospace font. Just pick the most ugly font without any, the so-called typography, without any of that. Pick the most ugly font possible, and we basically communicate like, there's no loss of content, no loss of anything. Now, well, of course, that depends on what you mean by typography. Like, so some people, when they think typography, they include, like they include printing. They say printing. If you claim printing is typography, then there's no argument. Of course, printing is critical. Printing is critically important. Without printing, all technology, we're gonna fall apart. The whole USA, but by next month you wouldn't have food to eat. So printing is critical, but printing is not typography. Okay. But if you are the typography fan, you might, kind of include printing as part of typography, so, so that depends on your definition. But if you, think typography, if you define it is a kind of sort of art of designing types, typefaces, font, designing, printing, like which line, how many spaces between lines, how long a line should be, things like that, then that is typography. That is actually the definition proper, typography proper. And is this critical? Not really. Is it good to have? Good to have? Yes, obviously, it's good to have, nice, design, you have plenty of space, make it easy to read. But also another thing about typography is that they claim, for example, these dashes, they would claim it makes it easy to read, but not really. Okay, some things in typography does influence the ease of reading. So, for example, line length and how many space between lines. That's obviously important, because or if the font is too small, or if it, it's critical. But that's not typically what these typography people, like if you watch this documentary, that's not typically what these kind of people talk about. They talk about the fucking, little design issue, like this en dash, the thing, the ligature, that's their concern. And especially Donald Knuth, idiots with his tech, this micro positioning of a symbol, like, to him it's important to get it right, like a little bit micro picard, whatever subpixels. Okay, so that optimize good communication. So yeah, so I think that concludes. Okay, that's a good topic today. That concludes the topic about typography. Google Maps. Let's go and check out where is Midlands in England. Okay, so the Midlands is the geographical middle region of England. Oh, okay. So that's kind of just a general word, I guess. The part in between north and south. Okay. Okay, so that's typography. Now I wonder whether I should continue and talk something more about typography, because after all that's a good topic. 40 minutes. So anything else, Sean? And FMS. So I'm thinking maybe that's it for today, because usually I talk for an hour, then it becomes 90 minutes, then it becomes 2 hours. So I think it's probably better, I just talk one topic per video. Like maybe today it's a good time to say goodbye, and there's tomorrow, and do next one. So typography, yeah, there's something about it's one of my big rant. Let's see what else. Okay, so let me go over some of my other blog things. Let's just see. So keyboard department, programming department, what we have. Okay, this is a bit history, the history of Git. You can see this is my blog from 2012. I say, been using Git for several months now. Before was SVN and CVS before. I can't say I find Git better. Git's man pages are totally incomprehensible. That is true. That is still true today. In fact, I was just reading, I was just trying to do something today on Git, about how to revert. It's totally fucking incomprehensible. Like there's not many people who actually understand Git. Okay, of course you go to Hacker News, just like like in the 1990s, you have Unix people talking about esoteric things. They think they understand, but it's really not very many people understand Git really, and that's bad because if you look at the whole population, when you create a tool, it must be designed, however you think it is good technically, but the design must be, you must look at how many percentage of the population can use your tool, can understand your tool, to a good degree, let's say 80%. So if you look at the population, so for Git, how many percent actually understand Git? If you look at all the programmers who have to use Git every day, how many percent? 10%? No, less. 5% less. 1%? 1%? Well, I would say actually less, depending on what, just to what degree you claim you want to say to understand Git. Like Git is just crap, but these kind of opinions will go nowhere to all the Unix philosophy things people. In fact, Git as a tool is the last software of the Unix philosophy school, I would claim. Of the Unix school, okay, because Git is actually not like small. Small is beautiful. Git is like kind of like huge. Let's see. What Xali Git tutorial. Oh, my roommate is back. So so I have a Git tutorial, Git basics here, and if you have used Git, then you know the complexity. I'm sure you already know how impossible to understand it is. But if you haven't used Git, for example, one example is revert change. And the difference, you have the revert change. You have Git checkout, you have head, you have this checkout head, and you can check out a commit ID, and you can revert to, it's very complex actually. And in fact, if you try to read the man page, okay, let me call the Git checkout. Okay, let's read the man page. You can see that nobody understands. I would claim less than 1%. Let me put it scientifically, so this claim can be verified, as yes or no, true or false. Okay, I would claim that less than 1% of all the people who makes a living by programming, professional coders, people whose primary income is from programming, okay, of all those people who has used Git, okay, at least once a week, okay, every week, once a week, of all those people, I would claim less than 1% of people actually understand Git. Let me make it more precise. Let's say less than 1% of people who can actually understand Git. We can make it more precise by let's say less than 1% people who understand, let's say, this syntax, who can actually explain this syntax: Git checkout, branch, then start point. Like you just show you just show them this line and tell them to explain, and you can verify whether they succeeded in their explanation by, for example, you ask 100 programmers to listen to his explanation and see if those programmers understand what he's talking about. So that's a claim. Okay, less than 1% of people understand Git. So that means it's not good tool. Okay, well, in one sense, you could say it's actually some tools are good, even though most people do not understand it, because some tools are, for example, you could say, that some tools are low-level tools, so they provide some kind of foundation. I mean, they are low-level. So on top of the tool, you can create a wrapper or, GUI or whatever. But you rely on the low-level thing. But that's not true for Git. Git is not a low-level tool. Okay, it's a fucking code reversion system. It's not in any sense a low-level tool. It's low-level only because its design exhibit low-levelness, because everything is like incomprehensible. That is why. And by the way, I think a few years ago I've seen a PhD thesis that says the thesis is, his PhD paper is about a kind of a new Git. Okay, he claims, he made the comment that Git is, nobody understands it, incomprehensible, and he narrows down, so this is his PhD research. He narrows down the problems, and he created a new system based on Git, okay, but a new system that don't have this complexity. So I've seen a PhD paper on that. I think you can probably find it, if you just search for Git. I don't know, it might be difficult to find it. But anyway, I think it was on Hacker News. But anyway, so it's a PhD paper. But you see, I think such a paper is really of little practical effect. I mean, the life is just gonna go on. Nobody's gonna read about that. That's another thing about technology, is that people really actually, it is not the quality of design that get software popular. It is not that at all. In fact, it mostly is about many other factors, social factors, about marketing, for example, why Git became popular. Back then, so I was talking about these, my old blog, there was, back then, there's a bazaar. It's just so funny. It's so funny to hear about it now. You see, there's an article, why switch to bazaar. Bazaar is the alternative software version system, okay, by Canonical. So they wrote an article, why switch to bazaar, in 2009. Now remember, in 2009, there are several others. Git is one of them. Mercury is one of them. Bazaar is one of them. Mercury is more well known. Git, Mercury is the two most popular. Then you have Bazaar. I think you have others. But back then, in 2009, no one of them is more popular than the other. So they are like competing. Eventually, Git won out. Basically all the other disappear. Like nobody is using them anymore. Eventually, one by one. So what I want to say before, Git software revision systems. Git is very complex, and why Git became popular? Popularity of programming languages and software are mostly due to social causes. Almost nothing having to do with the quality of the design, or the language. Okay, so Git. Why did Git won out? Because first of all, because Linus wrote it. Linus, he is extremely famous because he wrote the Linux kernel. So he's already, a huge, major celebrity, a star. So he created a Git. So there is a tremendous marketing associated with that. It's just because, like, for example, if back in 2009, if you are new, you want to pick a software revision system. So you see, there's a Git, there's a Mercury, or there's a Bazaar. Then you saw, Git is wrote by Linus. Oh yeah, then I know that guy. Oh great. Oh yeah, he's a great coder. Oh, so you automatically, there's a tremendous positive value for you to pick Git already without actually, trying it. The Mercury, maybe. I don't think it's created by anyone popular. So there's no such marketing force for Mercury. The positive things you heard about Mercury would be its simplicity, I would say, and also because it's written in the Ruby. Yeah, I think it's written on Ruby or Python. So remember back in 2009. Ruby on Rails. Ruby was very popular back then because Ruby on Rails around the same time. So Ruby is all over the place. Like Ruby on Rails. It was a big framework revolution. Then later on, other languages copied it. So I think Mercury is written on Ruby. Don't quote me on that. Ruby or Python. So maybe you say, Ruby. Oh great. Yeah. I'm a Ruby programmer, and So if I choose Mercury, I would be able to. It would give me more power. So that's one of the positive point about Mercury, and it's simple to understand. And Bazaar is mostly the high point about Bazaar is like it's free software support. It's the most one of the among the choices. It's one of the most free software like copyleft and all that. But they failed. They are the first one to go. They failed miserably, and today Emacs is using Git now. Okay, so that's about it today. So okay, no more comments. So 10 more seconds, then I'm gonna shut down. Type anything, any questions, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. More Git stuff. What kind of Git stuff? Like tutorial or what? Because tutorial wise, for Git tutorial wise, I don't really have much thing to say because so I have this Git tutorial, and this Git tutorial, they are focused on the most practical things you need to do. Like every person who uses Git, there are certain commands you use every day. You don't have to understand the Git, but for most people, you just git pull, git clone, git pull, git commit, git status, git commit. That's it. That's and sometimes you need to do git log, and So my Git tutorial is the focused on the most practical commands. They just tell you the commands. They do not try to explain Git because it's almost impossible to actually explain Git, okay? But you do have some FAQs about what is head, so that's one of the problem with Git. You have all these jargons head. So anyway, so my tutorial is mostly practical. So if you never used Git, I think this might be useful to you. As far as rant goes, I don't have much rant about Git. yeah, so except I think it's one of the worst. Whatever rant I already talked about. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Sean. Bye. Have a good day.